When the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture was founded in the year 1992, knowledge, food and security was our motto. It was a dream of the founding fathers that the university will live up to their dreams and aspirations towards standing out as a foremost university in Nigeria, and particularly in the field of agriculture. 22 years down the line, and with 3 vice chancellors having led the institution, to the March 4th, 2011, when Professor Hilary Odo Edoga took over reign as the first vice chancellor of the institution, the university has experienced development and growth, but none has been as witnessed under the leadership of Professor Hilary Edoga. When in 2011, he took over reign of leadership as the fourth vice chancellor of the university, with a profound sense of honor and humility, many wondered if he was actually the posterity that the institution has been waiting for. And 3 years gone by, he has not only proven to be the long-awaited posterity, but also a torchbearer, setting a pace not only in the university, but for other universities across the country. In his inaugural address, he did say that his tenure of 5 years will be anchored on the virtues of equity, justice and fair play. I dare say, he has, as a man of honor, kept his words.
We are the staff and the students. We are wallowing in their need of infrastructure, abandoned projects, abandoned and incomplete projects everywhere. Students, hostel, nothing to write home about. Academic complexes, the same story. Third phone intervention couldn't be properly assessed, and so many other areas. The road infrastructure, one of the poorest in Nigerian universities. In fact, hostels built when the university started have not been rehabilitated since the university was established till that year. Promotions not regular, even when promoted, areas were not paid. So all these and many others, too numerous to mention. And I promised myself that day that I will make sure I complete all the abandoned projects, which I have done. That I will improve on the road network, which I have done. I will also provide hostels, which I have done. I will also embark on more administrative blocks, which I have done. And I still believe that with additional funds from the government, that I will do more.
He promised to place emphasis on research in a bid to attaining international best practices. An enabling environment he promised to create for the expansion and introduction of new programs over and other than the agriculture, with a view to a general public deriving maximum opportunity from the institution. As a principle and ideology, he promised and has ensured that higher education is truly a means to an end for an individual, either in terms of finding a job, earning higher income, or any status in the society. In terms of general university administration, Professor Edoga, as the Chief Executive Officer of the university, has ensured that the underpinning rules and principles of university administration is adhered to, not only in the Vice Chancellor's office, but at all other levels. He has, in the last 3 years, ensured respect to due process, equal opportunity, cultural diversity, and the committee system. Adequate opportunities has been given to staff to participate in university administration at appropriate levels.
So the interaction between the staff and the Vice Chancellor is almost informal. He could see you while driving and stop and ask you about this job. Why is this thing not done? Please let this thing get done, get back to me. There's no formality in the relationship between the staff and the Vice Chancellor. That is taking to an advantage, in developing this institution, because if you have to go through protocols, write letter, write memo before you get things done, to take a very long time.
In the university, the entire registry has been overhauled, so much that the Savicom principles are recognized and made to impart on daily job delivery. The bursary, works and services, physical planning, and other departments has been strengthened to give their best to the system. This is attested to by the staffs and head of the physical and planning department of the institution.
Since the inception of this present administration, since 2011, a tremendous change has been made in this university. When he came on board, is it in the area of debt fund, is it in the area of capital projects, or is it in the area of establishment of businesses that can generate internally generated revenue? In these key areas, he has done a lot. And the major key point of this present administration is to see how to make this university self-sustaining.
Planning and programs being the focal point of any successful administration in any higher institution across the world. And dare I say that Professor Odo Edoga stands out in this area. The university has over the last 3 years been a builder's delight of a sort, as construction work goes on in the university on a daily basis without a stop. It is on record that the university has undertaken over 100 projects in the last 3 years, some of which has been completed and put into use, and others at various levels of completion.
There are 2 points I want to look at there. One is that Professor Doga has been in here, a young professor, deputy vice chancellor, and he had to study the terrain, he had to see how things were done. After being deputy vice chancellor, he went out to become commissioner. Then later came back. And while Professor Onyido was here, he equally understudied saw how Onyido was setting up the academic area. You know? And so those things must have equipped him to take off from there. You know, when you are part of a place that's developed, you know what the problems are. So he took off. And I think, I'm aware that the day he went for interview, he even went with the sketch of the hostel. When they asked him what, because I was in council, he went with the sketch, hostel sketch. And he told them this was exactly what he wanted because, one, you know, Umbudike is not like Enugu, it's not like Port Harcourt, it's a rural area. And so the problem of accommodation was bound to arise with the expansion of the inclusion of students, population. So he went there and then was able to tell them that this is the area he thinks that we need a lot of input so that students coming from other places will now find where they can stay. And that now was why, as soon as he came in, the first thing he tried to do was to put back all uncompleted buildings. I don't have the records, and there are many others.
As a student-friendly vice-chancellor who knows the importance of concentration for a student and the need to live in a decent, current, and affordable accommodation on campus, Professor Edeoga's administration has constructed and completed blocks of hostel, and these has eased the prayer of the student living in the host community and lessen, if not totally eradicate, their pains in accessing the campus and being punctual at their lectures. These has accorded the students dignity and enhanced their academic performance in a congenial environment. In the provision of water as a major need for livelihood, and such that is neat, unpolluted, and available, Professor Hilary Edeoga has shown that he loves life. and which is also for all through the provision of a university-owned mini waterworks, through fiber provision of boreholes with proper reticulation. Perhaps one thing that differentiates a higher institution of learning from any other public institution is a good landscaping of grounds and creation of gardens. Professor Hilary Edeoga did not just promise these at his inauguration, but has achieved even over, if such could be said in this context. The university, as of today, stands out as one of the most beautiful universities not only in the eastern part of Nigeria, nor the nation at large, but in the whole of the African continent. The university is a delight, and somewhere everyone wants to be. The aesthetic value of the university has been enhanced through landscaping of grounds and construction of gardens and walkways. For Professor Hilary Edeoga and his administrative team, expansion of academic facilities is a task that must be done at all costs, and this he has achieved. Pragmatic steps had been taken to ensure the completion of various buildings and projects on the institution, and various ones were commenced and completed. Professor Odo Edeoga has completed and built lecture halls, classrooms, ICT facilities, as well as laboratories and test rooms, and these are significantly closed gap in the university's carrying capacity. While electricity has been a problem everywhere, Professor Edeoga has made the university a paradise of a sort, where light is a constant thing. He has procured generators in the interim, while enhancing the capacity and courage of the power holding company of Nigeria through the efforts made by the federal government by the IPP initiative. Departmental heads, deans, and directors now feel in actual sense like one, as they now can feel among their peers across other institutions in the country. This is done through the provision of good pool vehicles for them, and efforts are being made to link their offices to satellite communications to keep them informed of the happenings all over the world. ICT has become a lifeline for any institution of higher learning, and even for anyone at that matter, let alone a student. One could virtually say that no modern person can do without the facility of the ICT. And what better can an administration do than to ensure the facility of ICT in his institution? Towards this end, Professor Odo Edeoga's administration is pursuing the expansion of ICT facilities in the institution in order to make same a tool for teaching and learning. A functional e-library has been put in place, as well as e-lecture rooms. Internet facilities has been made available and also affordable to all members of the university community. Staff development has received very great attention from Professor Edeoga's administration. An aggressive staff development program, such that benefit teaching and non-teaching staff, has been encouraged. Staff has been made to attend conferences at least once per year.
I was employed here since 1994. I was here with the first Vice Chancellor, last year, Joko, then the second Vice Chancellor, Professor Onwudike, the third one, Onido, and then the present one, Professor Edeoga. And I have seen series of changes. See, everybody is unique. They come with their own style of administration. But this present administration, I must say, is unique. Maybe because he is an insider before becoming the Vice Chancellor. Things has changed. He wears the shoes and knows where he pinches, and he tackled those areas. For instance, as soon as he resumed work as the Vice Chancellor, he converted the casual workers who have been suffering, converted them to permanent staff, which that alone has written his name in the plate of gold.
a university-wide staff development committee is in place for proper management of all forms of investment in human capital. Towards this end, Professor Adeoga has employed many of the casual staffs of the institution as permanent staffs. For Professor Adeoga, it has not been only about self, but development for all. Staff welfare has received prompt attention. Regular payment of salaries and allowances has continued. The Works and Services Department has been made to improve on its efficiency in the delivery of water to staff. Staff disciplinary matters has been handled expeditiously, following due process, as an enshrined in the enabling laws and staff conditions of service. The university appraisal calendar has been strictly followed to ensure that staffs who were qualified for promotion earn it as at when due. As there can be no institution without the students around whom all of this development revolve, one can say that the student has never had it so good in the entire existence of this institution as under Professor Hilary Edoga. Not only does Professor Edoga allow the right of the students to associate with themselves, he allowed a democratically elected student union government and has supported same in all positive ways.
Always remain the most peaceful students that you can ever talk of when you are talking about students in Nigeria. Michael Okpara students are always peaceful.
A student welfare board has been established and presided over by the Dean of Student Affairs, who makes regular reports to the Vice Chancellor. The guidance and counseling unit of the university has been properly equipped to attend and extend counseling services to all students with a view to curbing negative or deviant behaviors such as courtesy, violence, rape, robbery, prostitution, intimidation, molestation, extortion, and all sorts. The scenic beauty of existing hostels environment has made students to appreciate living in decent and well-kept surroundings. All bottlenecks and frustrating academic experience of students has been reduced to the barest minimum, so that those who want to excel can do so without any encumbrances. Security of life and properties of the institution has received a significant boost with the restructuring of the security unit to ensure adequate security for members of the university community and property. A crack section has been created to tackle cultism and other subterranean groups. It can be said that the university is safe at all times.
That is a key word, crisis management. That is what we have used here. Cultism, you cannot eradicate cultism in any university. So your best approach, or the approach of Michael Okpara here, is to manage the crisis. But we have made progressively good effort to contain them and keep them out of campus. Whatever you hear cultism in Michael Okpara University, sir, it is not within the university. It's all outside. Vice Chancellor, Professor Edoga, Hilary Edoga, he is a man of vision. When I came on board, I saw him and his vision and decided to work here. I had the option of leaving. As soon as I came in, there was security unit did not have one vehicle. Within no time, he produced 2. And has so far promised to get us some more vehicles. He is quick to action when it comes to security matters. He does not tolerate cultism in any shape or fashion. So I am glad to work here.
Professor Hilary Edoga's administration has in the last 3 years been a labor-friendly one. He has recognized and worked harmoniously with ASU, SANU, NASU, and other likely associations. He has handled their affairs with a good sense of empathy, initiative, and dexterity, so that any looming problems are nipped in the bud through dialogue and proper communication channels.
This place looks like a university, not like before, when you don't even know whether it's a secondary school or day, with potholes, no buildings. But now, since he took over, there are a lot of new buildings. You can see our hostel. I don't know whether people have visited it. Students are happy about it. The staff are happy. Everybody, even people from outside, when you tell them what Edoga is doing, everybody is happy. Because many people did not know that he will do all this, but we thank God and we give God the glory. There are many colleges that have been built. College of Agri-Economics and Rural Sociology, College of CCSS, College of Natural Resources. There are new buildings that have emerged. Even Pius signing was completed during his tenure. The library. There are many of them.
The host community of the university, as a significant stakeholder in the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture's enterprise, has been placed on high value. Professor Edeoga's administration has promoted good relationship with the various categories of people who make up the university host communities. In bracing up for the resource challenge, Professor Odo Edeoga's administration has tremendously enhanced internal revenue generation. To this end, revenue generation ventures has been strengthened for pure commercial purposes. This is evident in the institution's guest house, petrol station, livestock and crops farm, continuing education center, and others. The management of the University Limited has been reviewed in order to attract experienced business managers who run the venture like real business. The success of Professor Edeoga in the last 3 years of the Okpara University of Agriculture cannot be exhausted in one piece. For the fourth Vice Chancellor of this university, success is an attitude. Professor Hilary Edeoga best illustrates the saying that success is only for those that dream when other things is unnecessary, men that plan when other things is unneedful, and men that act when others think it is utmostly unneeded. Professor Hilary Edeoga is a professor of plant taxonomy and cytogenetics, a former Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Enugu State. He was a former senior research advisor to Shell Petroleum Development Company Nigeria Limited. He was a former Deputy Vice Chancellor of this same university. He is a member of several professional bodies, among which are the American Society of Plant Taxonomists in the USA, the Nigerian Society for Experimental Biology, the Botanical Society of Nigeria, and many more. He has over 120 publications and is a recipient of so many distinctions and awards, among which is the Vice Chancellor of the Year